Hi there, it's Shell, and we're going to attempt to finish our sewing. So it ended up taking a lot longer to fix the sewing machine than I expected it to. And I tell you, we took the whole thing apart, we blew it out, we changed the needle, we oiled it, and it was still doing the same thing. So we kind of started all over again, and it's working now. So it was just a huge mess. Sorry, let me move everything a little bit closer so it's easier to get to. But now it's working. So I really think that there was still a piece of something in there that didn't belong. So we blew it out a second time and now it works. So it was kind of one of those that, okay, now what? And, you know, I'm just kind of to the point of just done. So anyways, now we're going to move on. I went ahead and did all the lace just to make sure everything was working correctly. So I want to show you what I'm doing now is we're going to go ahead, we're going to add a little bit of a flip here, and I think I'm going to do it on the blue pages just because it's nice and simple, and you can lift it up and then you can have a little bit of secret journaling. So I'm going to do it here, just kind of eyeball where it goes, how far I want it. You can do it as long or as short as you like. This is so hard to rip. I could finally get it to rip, but you kind of have to really struggle with it. And I have tried both ways with the grain, and it's just a really hard fabric. So I don't know, you know, what what is going on with it. So I'm going to kind of do one here. And I know I want one in each pocket or each signature. And so I'm just going to go ahead and rip them down to where I would like them to be. Okay. Okay, so I got these ripped down. And this one I wasn't able to pull at all. It was just so hard. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of unravel it just a little bit because I like that look. You don't have to do that. It's totally up to you. So again, you know, any sewing that you do, you want to go ahead and do that before you put your signatures together, before you sew them in. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here and see what else I want to do. So far this is the only piece that we have, but we can use some leftovers of the, what's wrong, Bubba? Some leftovers of the lace and stuff that we used. You know, it's totally up to you at this point. And I think I'm just going to have a little piece here. And I want to go ahead and sew this on at the same time. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is just going through some of the laces that I used for the edges of my paper. And I really love this piece. So I'm going to cut him here. I know I'm going to use that on the other pieces, so 1, 2, 3. And just to kind of give it cohesiveness throughout, I'm just going to kind of use the same pieces to decorate with. And I think that's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to just stick this one here, stick this here, and actually I'm going to put a little bit of glue. This is my little Bubba. You don't see him very much. This is Bitty Bear, I don't know if you could see him, but he is Daddy's cat through and through. He's tolerant of me, especially when, you know, Mommy's the one that lets him wake Daddy up from a nap and stuff like that. He really loves to wake Daddy up. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick this here. Just a little bit of glue that will keep it in place as I sew it down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to each one of them. And when we're decorating the book, we can always come back with a little charm or something to put up here too. So kind of do that, let that one dry, then we'll do one of the other ones, or the other two, and get those done. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of thinking to myself. Just a little bit of glue and glue that down. And I think I want this one to be just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to put it just a little tiny piece. Two. And then we'll call that 3. So, you know, you can use anything. If you want to do a fabric flip, you can use some lace. You can use some fabric. You could use tulle. And, of course, you could use paper. So, just whatever you want to do. If you want to do like a fabric flip or a little hidden spot, you can, you know, do whatever you want to. Some people don't sew these on. They glue them on. So that's up to you too. I like the sturdiness and also like the look of the glued on. And you know what? I have a little bit of a different lace over here that I had to trim earlier. So I think I'm going to glue this one down and then kind of glue this piece of lace. Just kind of do a little collage there. And I really want to do something on this one just because it's so big, which I could pull it off and, you know, make it work, cut it down or whatever, but I kind of don't want to do that. So I'm going to add these. Like I said, these are some pieces that I cut down when I was sewing the lace on. So I'm just going to put that little piece there, have another one here. Little piece of lace. Always keep your little snippets and stuff like that, because even though they're really tiny, that might be all you need for a project. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to let these two dry, and we are going to get these sewn on. So this one's not going to take all that long to do. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I'm doing, just to kind of give you an idea. Let's see, I think you might can see that a little bit. So, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go do a zigzag and see how we do. And this is pretty sturdy paper, so you can go back and forth with a little back stitch. So simple, but this really makes an impact. It's just a really pretty, and it's just a fabric whip. So again, if you want to keep secrets or something like that, then you could certainly put it in here. Let's see. Then I'll come back and trim those off in a little bit. Go ahead and get them all done. And that's one thing I like to do, is kind of do them all at one time, so that, you know, you're just complete with it and you can move on. Now, say this one, you know, it's on the same direction as the other one. Sometimes I like to switch it up a little bit, so I'm just going to put it on the inside, because it doesn't really matter. It's totally whatever you want to do. And I like the, I guess, kind of the element of surprise. You know, it's just kind of fun, and I just like that. So, I don't like to have to do the same thing every time, I guess is what I'm getting at. In here, and one more. That one in here, just like my blue page. It's just simpler if you kind of do it all on the same. Kind of have the same idea for each one. As far as which paper, I know this is, you know, the same thickness throughout, and, you know, I don't have to stress too much about it. Got those done. Now this would also be the time if you wanted to sew in a belly band. And for those of you who are not familiar with a belly band, let me just kind of give you an example. So what it is, it could be paper, it could be fabric. And if you go to Gayle Agostinelli's page, she does like fabric snippets, where she'll layer like fabric and lace and maybe some buttons and things like that. And then she just cuts it down to size, and she'll either glue or sew on the edges, and then you can just stick a piece of paper inside. Like, let's see what I have here. But this would be sewed on either side, like this, and then you could store a piece of paper. So, I'm not going to put belly bands in here. I just hadn't planned for it, and I'm okay with not adding them to this one. So we're going to do that. But I am going to show you what I am going to add. In fact, I am going to go see if I have a couple more, and then we'll be back and we will sew in the pockets that I wanted to use. And I will be right back. Okay, so here I have some, let me scooch everything back a little, have some pieces of lace and some doilies, pieces of doilies and things like that. So I'm going to see if there's something in here that I want to use as a pocket. So I could use any of these laces. I really like, this is a vintage lace, but I really like putting doilies and things like that. Just want to cut down. Here's a chicken. So let's see what I can do here and use as pockets. Ooh, I like that. Okay. I already have a doily to use, but I wanted like 3 of them so that, you know, they're throughout the book. And I do like this lace too, or this eyelet. So I think I'm going to use those, and we're going to sew on these pockets. And the first thing I want to think about when I'm doing the pockets, here's my other one, is do I want to add anything to them before I sew them in, you know, as far as sewing, before I actually sew them into my pack or into my book. So let's see, that is so pretty. So I'm going to show you what I want to do with this. Let's put that in the beginning signature, because why not? And you know, I just, like I keep saying, I just like the interest of different items in the book. So usually what I do is I have to go through these and see what's upside down and what isn't. And okay. Usually, like if there's something I want to cover up is where I would put a pocket, or, you know, like maybe here. Let's see what I have here. Sorry, the cats are outside are fighting. I think I'm going to leave that. That's kind of pretty. I'm going to leave that. Let's go to the one page, this page right here. There's not a lot to cover up on it, and it is going to be only one pocket, so I can always make a little bit more room here for journaling. But I really love this. I think that's just really pretty. And I am just going to cut it down. With my scissors. And then you kind of want to think about, you know, like I said, is there something I want to decorate it with? And I'm thinking about going back to my blue. Sorry. Thinking about going back to my blue eyelet maybe, or that might be too much eyelet. White eyelet. Nope. Too much eyelet, I think. So let's look at our laces. I really love this lace. I think I'm going to go ahead and just pop this on, and then we'll sew on our pocket. That'll give it a little bit, and then our thread is that pink, or kind of that salmon color. So that will add just a little bit of color also. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to put my lace on the top of my pocket, just because I want to give it just a little bit of strength. I just think that's really pretty to do that. And then I just want to see how far up I want it. Do I want it that height? And I think I'm going to do that because I kind of like the little edging on the bottom. So now I'm just going to sew around the edging in the, you know, style of a pocket, leaving the top open. So you can use whatever you want to for this, whatever stitch. And I kind of just mess with it as I go, make sure it stays pretty straight, if I can. I've already done that one and it wasn't very straight. Okay. Again, I'm just using the zigzag here, and when you stop your zigzag, stop it on the left, and that will give you a really pretty stitch, ending stitch. I learned that also from Gayle Agostinelli. Okay, so I have that done. And isn't that lovely? I love the colors on it, and you can see where the stitch is if you stop on the left all the way across. So it just looks like a pretty stitch. Okay, I really love that. I think that's really pretty. I'll probably put some charm or maybe glue another decoration on here when we're done or when we're ready to add that. Let's see where I have this or where I want it now. Go add it here for now. And then our next pocket, and I really love just kind of playing with, you know, different things to think up different ideas. You know, you don't always have to have a pocket that is made out of fabric. You know, you can certainly do whatever you want to out of your pocket. You can use old handkerchiefs, you can, you know, use old paper, whatever you want to do. But I really like this, and I saw some ideas like on Pinterest, and I thought that was really fun. So on this one, I think I'm going to do it on the inside here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew here, and then across like this, and then up about part way, and that way the pocket or the little doily will kind of fold down, and I really like that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Just kind of sew it down the right side. And I'm just going to kind of go around the doily, so it'll kind of, since it's a circle, it'll kind of be a little odd sewing, but that's okay. And then and I love that I'm using this pink, just because it does add another color and another, you know, dimension kind of. So now I'm just going to go up part way on this corner over here. Okay. And then we'll fold that down, and we'll probably either glue it down in place, or we will put like a little pin that goes through both layers to hold it in place. Let's see, this is how the pocket will be. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I saw this idea on Pinterest. I thought it was just such a fun idea. So I'm going to fold that over and put this one back in here. And put it there. That'll be pretty. And then our last pocket, and then we'll be done with today's episode. So let me see. Oh, you know what I want to do? Remember that one mess I made? I think I'm going to put it here. It'll kind of cover it up a little bit and won't look so, you know, to me anyway, so glaringly messed up. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to go down the right side and up the left side part way. Possibly. I think we're done with our sewing machine. For now, we'll probably use it again when we start sewing some of the ephemera and working on the ephemera. I do like to sew. I like the look of it. Like I said, you don't have to have a sewing machine, but you know, it's just whatever you prefer. So let's go ahead and go through these so you can kind of get an idea of what we did so far. So I have, this is how my setup is, and I may change some of them, you know, as I go, you know, where I have a lot of color and kind of rearrange it just a little bit. So this is what we've done so far as the lace and the pockets. There's our little pocket. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Here's a fabric flip. Go ahead and trim these so I don't forget. Sometimes I forget, and then I forget when I send it to its new home. If you hear that kind of snoring, that is my cat. He has always had allergies, this one cat has, and when the weather gets really bad, he kind of, it's worse. So we help him out, but it just is bothering him, the weather right now. So I think that's really pretty. I love it so far. I think it's really turning out fun. So that's the first part. Here's the second signature. And there is our fabric flip. I love this fabric. I think it is so pretty. And then kind of see that. Here's our little pocket out of a doily. They're coming together. They're getting kind of chunky here. I'll show you that before we leave. See, this is upside down. Guess I already cut those ones off. Stuck to it there. And here's our little pocket. And this, I'll have it come down like that also. So thank you guys for hanging in there. Sorry about my technical difficulties with my sewing machine. Oh, I want to grab the cover so you guys can see that. Okay. So here's our cover. You can tell it's getting a little thick. The signatures are. And look how nice and thick it is now. It's really getting there. So by the time we sew these in and add some ephemera, then it's going to be really nice and thick, and hopefully not too thick, because like I said, I don't like, you know, the huge alligator mouths. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. You never know, I tell you. It's been one of those weeks or one of those months so far. So thank you guys so much for watching. I believe our next episode is going to be sewing in the signatures, so that's kind of exciting. Thanks for watching. Be sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Be sure and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And thanks so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.